Hello everyone, I am the Angelskingdom and welcome back to the channel. Now, as you can probably tell by the video, of course, I'm going to be redesigning my own Ben 10 aliens. These are the 10 that I would personally have in my own playlist. So, yeah. If I didn't cover any of your aliens, maybe I'll do a little thing afterwards, or probably in the future. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video. So first up to the block here, and by the way, I'll be I'll just be showing you guys like me coloring them in, of course, because honestly, coming up with the designs and everything, it took a really long time, and also having to like draw over them with a pen or go over the pencil with pen. It just Anyways, I'm wasting time. First up is Brawler. Now, Cannon Bolt or Brawler was actually one of my personal favorites and still is to this day. Hey, he was one of the first aliens to be added on from the original 10, and like he has appeared out of like the OGs. He appears in like every like Ben 10 iteration. He was in the OG Ben 10. He was in Alien Force. He was in what's after Ultimate Alien. Sorry. Yeah, Omniverse, the reboot, all that stuff. And I've always loved him. And I knew that I wanted to keep his like main face and like body shape the same. But what I ended up doing was like I extended his arms to be more like gorilla-like. So now they're like, or now they're kind of like, I don't know. I guess dragging is the correct word for it. But they're just like down to the ground, you know. And, of course, as you could probably tell, I gave him a tail. Now, I've seen a lot of, like, iterations of Cannon Bolt, and there was, more than a few of him having a tail, and I was like, that's actually a really cool idea, because it gives him more, like, defense, and it makes more sense that he has a tail, so that he can, like, fully cover up with, instead of, like, I don't know where the extra panels come into play here, but you know what? The tail works, and I really like the tail idea, me personally. Another inspiration was like me wanting to give him like a bit more covering or like a bit more clothes than like when he was first introduced. And I was reminded of the version of him from like Ben 10K, where he had like a full like shorts or pants. I don't know, but anyways, he was like fully covered and everything. So I was like, you know what, that's a really cool idea, I'm gonna do that as well. So I decided to give him pants, and I also decided to give him like these like glove looking things as well. I thought they would look pretty cool, and here is me having to go over some more pencil that I completely forgot about. But yeah, so other than that, he is a whopping 6 feet tall, weighing at around 430 pounds. I looked up his weight. I tried to find like his official weight, but everyone just kept on guessing and everything, and so everyone was like, he's probably like really heavy since he's a big guy. But any case, here is my version of Cannon Bolt, nicknamed Brawler. For, you know, because he rolls up into the ball. Sorry, that was awkward. Next up to the list is Neptune. Neptune. So, I now, to be completely honest, I do not like his catfish version. And like when they introduced him, like, or when they brought him back in Ultimate Alien, I was like, who is it? Or what was it, Ultimate Alien? No, Alien Force. When they brought him back in Alien Force, I was like, who is this? This is not my Ripjaws. Like, yeah. But anyways, so I wanted him to be a lot more darker, or no, not darker. Sorry, yeah, a lot more lighter in color. Or like he was white in the show, and so I was like, I want to keep him light, but I also want to give him like, or like don't want him to just like be purely white, you know. Oh, so I thought, hey, he's a sea creature. Why don't I just make him like a type of blue, you know? Oh, and so I'm using this like, you know what? I forgot what the color of the blue was, but I'm using like this light blue kind of deal here, so he can like blend in a bit more in the ocean. I know he'll probably stick out a lot while like in deeper ocean environments. But I mean, come on, look at the original. Like, he's pure white. If that doesn't tell you that he's gonna stick out, or that the OG version is gonna stick out even more, then I don't know what is. All right. But one thing I should also mention, and I did color these in because I thought that the color would look cool and everything, because it was a bit dark when I colored it on. But then like it started to dry, and it was a lot lighter than I thought it was originally gonna be. So I was like, ugh, you know what? That's probably not gonna work too well. So like when you see the picture at the end, or like, yeah, when you see the picture of him at the end, he will be like, some parts of him will be like a lot darker. I wanted to give him like the hood so that like he can put it up and be like a lot more mysterious on land, you know, just like be able to cover up, sort of shield him from the sun and everything. I also got the idea for him to have a hood from another creator called Maraboops, who is working on a comic called My Hero Academia 10B, by the way. You guys should definitely go check that out. It's basically a comic where Izuku Midoriya gets the Omnitrix. Okay, I really thought I wanted to like make the gills and like little things like darker and everything, but I decided to make them like a bit pinkish to keep in the like light vibe. So here he is, Neptune. Next up to the list is Upgrade, also known as Connect. Sorry. Sorry, I don't usually talk this long. Anyways, I decided to call him Connect. You know, like connecting signal, connecting Wi-Fi, connecting wires. Yeah, you guys get it. Now, of course, like, I always loved like his gooey, messy little body that he would always have, you know? Oh, and I know, like, at first I thought he was just like goo and everything, but then I found out that he was just a construct of like billions and billions of miniature nanites, since his race was made by Galvin, or the gray matter people. And I wanted to do something different for him. I didn't want to like just reskin him and draw yellow lines on him. Originally I was gonna make the lines like red, but then I was like, nah, that doesn't, I don't think that would look all that cool. And I'm really glad that I decided to go with the yellow lines on this. But instead of like making him like dark or like black with a white belly, I decided to make him white with a black belly. Yeah, I thought it was a really cool idea choice, or design choice, in my opinion. One thing I do want to mention is that I was originally going to put the watch on his eye like the Omniverse version did, but then I was like, no, I don't like that. Like, the only alien in my opinion that works with is Stinkfly. Like, he's the only alien that I could think of where like that the Omnitrix can be like on his face, you know, that like everyone else, like I can't imagine. I can't imagine it. Even Cannonbolt was like a bit iffy in my opinion. So yeah. But Upgrade was always one of my favorites because it was just it was just Ben's voice over like a fucking radio. Oh, and it was always cool, you know. Oh, because he got to keep his own voice. He got to keep his own like personality, of course. And I'm thinking like of doing like a bit of a comic series with these guys, but each of them have like their own, I don't know, I guess they're like their own personality. I don't know. That idea also comes from Maraboops, I'm gonna, you know what? I'm gonna tag her or tag them in the description below because I keep on getting ideas from them. Anyways, this is my version of upgrade that I named Connect. There he is. All right, now here's one of the add-ons that I wish that they kept in, and here he is in all his glory, Wildvine. But in this version, I call him Botany, Botany, however his voice is. So originally when I looked up his height, at least the internet, said that Wildvine's height is anywhere between 6 and 7 feet tall, and I was like, that doesn't sound right. He seems like a lot taller in the show most of the time. But then I look at him and I see that like they're right. He really isn't like all that tall. But then I was like, okay, why don't I just make my version taller? So now this version of Wildvine stands at a whopping 15 feet tall and weighs around like, I don't know, 600 pounds because of like all his armor and like all this grouping of vines and everything. I was like yeah, this seems right to make him like this heavy, you know? And it was, yeah, no. And if you're wondering about armor, I'm probably gonna color it here in a second, I hope at least. But it's like those like round oval bits with like all the spikes coming off of it. Those are his armor. And what I want to it's one of the things I wanted to add on. I was gonna make it brown to make it like wooden, but then I was like, no, I want him to stay like fully green, you know? Like I wanted him to stay green in a way. So I decided to just like, well, of course I made him like fully green except for his friggin' teeth, of course. I really liked the idea of him just like splitting open that like Venus flytrap looking thing to open his head up. So yeah, but here I'm coloring it in right now. I wanted it to be a bit darker to imply that it is like a hardened armor type deals, you know? And I thought that this shade of green, I think it's called sage green. And I figured it would come in well to emphasize that, yes, this is like armor to him and everything. With a lot of these colors, I also want to mention they were mostly inspired because of like different vines and everything, but they were also inspired by the forest god from Hellboy 2. You know, that like giant plant looking thing, like an elemental is what the queen calls it. So yeah, a lot of the colors are based off of that. And of course, I also wanted to like make it look a lot lighter as well, at least his eyes and like mouth. And so here he is, Botany. And here we go, last but not least is my boy. Boy, I call him Boombox. Boombox, or not Boom. I call him Boombox. Most people call him Echo. Now, when Echo was introduced, I was like, oh, who's this like little guy? Like, is he like super smart or anything? And then I find out like he's not really all that smart. Right? And like, of course, his smarts being based off Ben's smarts. But anyways, I find out that he's not the smart one, and then I was like, wow, what does he do then? And then I find out he duplicates, and he's like loud as hell. And I was like, oh, holy shit! All right, well, that's what he does. So yeah. Anyways, Echo was probably one of my favorites in the Alien Force. I'm forgetting a lot for some reason. But he was one of my favorites, and I absolutely loved the little guy. Yeah, and I even loved his ultimate version as well, like going from like a squishy little body to like a hardened blue body. Yeah, so I was like, I don't want to make him like white and blue. I'll make him like cool gray and blue to like, you know, to mix it up a bit, you know. Oh, so I was like I'm gonna use the ultimate colors for my version of a Echo. Jeez, I am talking a lot. As you can also tell, I give him a more square head to fit in more with the whole boombox aesthetic. And these like gray bits that I'm gonna be coloring, or that you can see on his body, are like the little knobs as well, and like the little buttons that you'd see on like a traditional boombox or like an old school boombox, you know. And I thought it would be cool, and that I would make like an iteration of it where like where when Echo or boombox does split apart, that the copies of him or the other version of him won't have like all these knobs and everything. They'll just have like the stripes, so you know which one is like the actual Echo and which one is the copies. And I decided to give him orange eyes just to add in a bit of diversity, a bit of color difference, you know. Anyways, here is my version of Echo that I decided to nickname Boombox. There you are, little guy. I just noticed I didn't color in the Omnitrix for any of these. Alright, well, I hope you all enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And yeah, there are 5 more aliens that I'm going to be doing later on, so hope you get to see them. Alright, goodbye!